Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is Kim Aside doing another segment of Victory Sundays. And on Victory Sundays, I like to talk about all types of sport. Never know I talk about football, basketball, hockey, or even NASCAR. Because if you know anything about me, I love sports. And this is an opportunity for me to get y'all the most raw and uncut filter version of me. And on today's segment of Victory Sunday, this is actually a football edition because if you don't know anything about this week, y'all, you've been living underneath a rock. Damn it, I wanted that guy. But if you've been living underneath a rock lately, y'all, like this is the NFL draft week, y'all, and this is the special edition of it because y'all can see I'm big commanders out, and I'm gonna talk about my commanders eventually. But while we at it though, y'all, let's just get spicy while we at it because if you've been literally rock lately, Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini, like they was spotted out in Arizona when they was at the coaching convention, and they was hugged up, locked arms, and booed up. Now that sounds kind of now that doesn't sound too bad, right? But you got to take it to the factor that these both of them are married. I think I don't know how long they've been married, but I know both of them are married, and this does not look too good. And like a lot of reports that's been coming out recently, and it's getting more and more spicier. So the news keep on getting worse and worse and worse. And like they've been talking all types of stuff about them, like how Diana was talking crazy about her husband, like she was pretty much like you, what's my girl name? What's my girl name? Uh, Jada Pickett Smith. She was pulling the Jada Pickett Smith on her own husband, and I think they, from what the reports were saying, like he was getting tired of it. He actually filed an investigator, and he was the one that got the people to take the pictures of them booed up in Arizona. Yes, locked arms and all types of shit. But yeah, they said her husband was actually the one that said that. And he was just like the reason why he did that, just because he was like, yo, you ain't taking half my shit. Fuck no. You got me fucked up. And like just that alone, like that was just one of the things that has been coming out recently. Then they said, yo, like 6 years ago, they were spotted out like in Queens, New York, just all hugged up and shit. So it's just been a lot of stuff coming out about them just doing the nasty and doing the dirty, if you get what I'm saying. Not even like them, they fooling around, but you could pretty much get the picture. But I do want to say one thing that I am going to acknowledge. Cam Newton hit it on the head. Like, yo, if you paid attention, like, yo, how come Mike Vrabel ain't getting in too much trouble? Like, yo, this dude is taking counseling and shit like that. He's just gonna take one day off from the draft and he's good to go. But vice versa, like you had Sharon Moore, he had to get fired and had to get arrested. You had to Ume Udoka, he cheated on my girl Nia Long, who was my one of my childhood crushes, which yeah, you should have got some trouble for that shit. But yeah, he got fired from his job, and it's ironic that they in the same they worked in the same area, and he got fired from his job. But Mike Vrabel was getting a slap on the wrist, if a slap on the wrist was even possible, because it don't even seem like they slapping on the wrist, because I guess New England owner dirty ass, he probably just like shit. I was running through hoes too. But on to another segment of Victory Sundays. That was a little bit spicy, but yeah, you know me, I like to get a little spicy every once in a while. But yeah, on to another segment of another topic for Victory Sundays, yo. Like we like to talk about all types of positions and all like receivers and stuff like that. And if you've been living under the rock, two big stories been coming out recently about receivers are AJ Brown and George Pickens. So we're gonna start with AJ Brown just because it's the bigger news. AJ Brown, the Eagles, it like they pretty much they done, like they saying like this shit is finito. And speaking of it, like it's just so ironic that we talking about the Patriots because they are saying that AJ Brown is going to get traded to the Patriots by June 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason why they're not doing it right now is just because there's like contract rules and obligations or like money being involved, and the Eagles don't want to pay the extra bread. So that's the reason why they don't want to do it. But yeah, if y'all thinking like nah, like that can't be true, just look how the Eagles are moving. They done drafted a receiver just now, and they done signed Hollywood Brown, and I forgot who else they signed, but then they traded for Wicks from the Packers. So why the hell you sign on receivers if you're not planning on moving on from AJ Brown? So it's only a coincidence that the Eagles are going to move on from AJ Brown. If you don't see the silver lining, just pay attention to how the team is moving, and they're moving like they're gonna move on from his ass. But also George Pickens, like they just said, like the Cowboys will not be they will not be signing George Pickens to a long-term deal. They will be franchise tagging him. And if he don't like it, then go ahead and kick rocks. Now, if you don't know anything about this story that's a little bit deeper, is George Pickens got the same agent as Michael Parsons, and Michael Parsons agents and Jerry Jones do not fool one another. So it just make this transaction relationship a little bit more personal, and it is making more messy, which I like messiness between the Cowboys because it ain't no off season without the Cowboys disputing over contracts, and I love it because I'm big commander. So I hope he get traded. Yes, I do. But on to the last segment of Victory Sunday that I just want to talk about is, like I said, y'all, it's the NFL draft. I'm actually watching it now live as we speak. Well, I'm not gonna say live, but I'm currently watching as we speak because it's Friday and I shoot my videos on Friday. If you don't like the shit, go ahead, kick rocks and don't watch the video. But yeah, like I said, I just want to give y'all some of my thoughts on the draft real quick so far in the first round. So some prize moves. Love, he got drafted. Jeremiah Love, he got drafted by the Cardinals, which I was kind of pissed off about because I wanted him to play for the Commanders. Tate, he got drafted by the Tennessee Titans, which I think was a reach. No offense, I just think like, yo, you've been a number 2 receiver, and sometimes the number 2 receivers from Ohio State, they do pan out, but they ain't as great as we think they are because you're number 2 for a reason at that point. And then also the most controversial pick of them all was what's that dang on quarterback name? The quarterback from Alabama. He was picked up by the Rams. Now a lot of people they don't like it. Some people they do like it. The reason why they don't like it is just because they just like, yo, the Rams are notorious for saying F them picks and they going for right now. They not worried about the future. They worried about winning right now. And this is not a right now move. They doing it for the win later on just because Matt Stafford is 37 years old, even though he's coming off MVP season. They feel like you only got a handful of seasons left with him, so you might as well go ahead and draft his replacement. And I know, like, and we heard stories about other teams they doing that with like the Packers. That's just a prime example of a good one in the Chiefs and stuff like that, where they draft a young guy, get him early, let him sit for a while, and then develop him. And so some other news into the draft, man. The shit that really pissed me off was that Caleb Downs got drafted by the Cowboys. What the hell is other 10 teams was doing, man? What the? I mean, come on now. Like that's like the Cowboys always get the guy that they want in the draft for some odd reason, and it just seems like this is another case scenario. Like if you think about it, like they got Michael Parsons, they got C.D. Lamb, and this is to name a few, but they always get the guy they want in the draft, and this is another case scenario. And it's just like shit. Y'all got a dog, and I can't even lie. But shit, still, I hope they still go 0-17. But yeah, lastly, y'all know what I just want to talk about. I want to talk about some big commander stuff. Yes, Sony Styles got drafted by Washington Commanders at the 7th pick. Felt like he fell to us, and like they've been saying from reports, like Washington been looking out for a minute, and they was just hoping and hoping that he falls to us. And so, like, yeah, he fell to the Commanders, which I do think is a safe pick. Do I like the pick? Yeah, I like the pick. Do I love the pick? I'm so about the pick, but I do think it's a safe pick. He's a good guy off the field, and he got hella athletic traits. So he put those two together. He sounds like he's gonna be a 10-year pro. And you can't knock somebody. You can't knock a team for drafting a 10-year solid pro. And I think that's what Sony Styles gonna bring to the Washington Commanders. And so, with all that is being said, y'all, this is the Kimla Sykes doing another Victory Sunday on the NFL Special Edition, and I'm out this bitch.